Is A.R. Wilson from his brand new record Old Gold, and kicking off our special April Amnesty lineup of performances. A.R. Wilson, the new project from local musician and DJ Andras, also an ex Triple R presenter, variously known as Andras Fox. Andrew Wilson, DJ Andras. Tonight he comes to us as A.R. Wilson with his brand new record Old Gold under his belt. Andy, welcome to Triple R.
G'day, Kate. How you doing?
I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
I'm well. I'm in my cave.
I can see that. Anyone who's watching can hopefully check out this amazing setup. Is this the thing that you created the record Old Gold with?
This is the version that I used at Sovereign Hill for the live show. So some of the keyboards, none of the fancy stuff that I had access to at Melbourne Electronic Sound Studio mess.
Yeah, tell us about the how this record came about. So you were involved in Mess at the time. That's the Melbourne Electronic Sound Studios. How did this record come about when you were hanging out there?
It's a great space in North Melbourne. It's beneath what was the Melbourne Meat Market. So I figured there should be some good stories and history. But I don't know, it was finding myself drawn to researching older stuff, even though I had access to all of the highest tech gear you could ever ask for. You know the expression "all the gear and no idea." I felt a bit of that going on, so I figured a nice place to start would be a story. And for me, that story was something from regional Victoria or from the birthplace of Australian music history.
So you've gone into the era of the 1850s, a bit of a concept album, I guess, based around the gold rush. What inspired you to dig into that particular era as a musical concept?
Uh, I think reading early descriptions by colonial subjects of their experience in the goldfields and describing, like ways of describing Australian landscape and sound, which is a really complicated world to dive into, but there was something there that I really wanted to explore. There was also issues of, I suppose, authenticity. As an electronic musician, guitar music is meant to be the ultimate unfakeable thing. So writing an acoustic guitar record seemed like a tongue-in-cheek way of delving into that world. And it also just, in context of being at an electronic sound studio, using that kind of equipment to make early folk music seemed like a really stupid idea, and one that I decided to fully delve into for about a year and a half.
Fully embrace the stupidity.
Somewhat.
I've heard that no organic instruments were used in the making of this record, despite the sound of pianos, mandolins, banjos, and as well as noises like dogs barking and birds twittering and things. Can you talk us through how you created these sounds?
Sure. You should never believe what you read in a press release, but some of them, were faked on synthesizers. I think there's an expression. It's to do with like rationality, but when you hear hoofbeats, better to think of horses than zebras. But I was thinking about that a lot while I was at Mess, and when you hear a sound that approximates a natural sound, so something that sounds a bit like a galloping horse, how to attribute that properly. And just, like I think there's a scene in The Simpsons where they paint cows for a scene because they look like horses when you film them. And these ideas of like cinematic fakes and simulation seemed quite interesting. I'm very disinterested in authenticity as an art form, particularly with respect to ambient music, field recording. These ideas that you can just go out and the idea of the field as well, like this place where you just go stand and kind of bask in nature's glory. So instead, I decided to recreate those things in isolation, much like I am now in this cave. I figured I could open the blinds and you get a beautiful view of some incredible salmon gums, but you'll have to use your imagination.
Why would we need to do that when we can see this amazing? There's sort of a
I,
pink glow. Have you got a camera attached to your head like a miner?
this was desperation. I was sent a fantastic webcam by the staff at Triple R to use for this broadcast, and I was struggling for a nice way to show both the equipment I was using and myself and some kind of perspective, and just got desperate this afternoon and strapped it to my head with some masking tape and got a camping miner's light. So you can, you can get this like sole single perspective, which is very much what the record is about.
Yeah, and it kind of speaks to the whole miner vibe. You actually look like we have the perspective of you, the miner, in the mine.
Yeah, and that was the story I wanted to tell with the record. Like, there is no shortage of, Australian country artists writing songs about this period of time. We mine this era for all kinds of cultural references constantly. But what I was interested is in telling like a minor story, as in, like something from either literally from the floor perspective, from like that of an ant looking up at the world, or from someone who, yeah, I guess lost all perspective and was just, there's something really manic about just looking at gravel and dirt and expecting something great to happen. Yeah.
Yeah, the idea that you keep doing the same thing over and over again, but
There's
expecting
something in the
different
way
results.
that this particular instrument, the mellotron, sounds in that, each note is just a real instrument sound that was recorded once. And each time you press it, it's the same thing. And something about that kind of obvious problem was what kind of inspired me to write this music.
Well, we're in for a very special treat. I understand you've only performed this record, Old Gold, once at Sovereign Hill. Is that right?
True, yes.
And this is the second performance of it.
It's the
So,
second performance.
what a special treat. Are you ready to go, Andy?
Yes, I can queue up the first one.
Fantastic. This is A.R. Wilson live.
I'm going to play like a bit of a kind of medley of the Australian songbook. So,
okay.
I think I'll leave things there for you, Kate.
That was spectacular, Andy. Thank you so much.
Thanks for coming into my cave.
It's been a pleasure joining you in your cave. I think we saw some ghosts in there today.
I hope so.
It was very enjoyable and very interesting. You've been listening to A.R. Wilson, also known as local musician and DJ Andras, live here on the Distant Sky on Triple R. A.R. Wilson's project Old Gold, which we've been hearing tracks from, is out now. Thank you so much to our live stream sponsors, Young Henrys, and thank you to everyone who's been listening or watching Wilson's performance via the Triple R website and social media pages. If you missed it, you can listen back on demand, or you can watch it via Triple R's social media and website. Just head to rrr.org.au and you too can join Andy's amazing cave. We're also excited that the next live stream we're going to be doing here on Triple R is with hip hop artist Dallas Woods. He'll be performing live from Northside Records in Fitzroy next Wednesday at 5 o'clock. If you can't make it down to Northside Records, the full set will be broadcast right here on the Distant Sky with me. Dallas is going to be performing tracks from his debut record and recent album of the week, Julie's Boy. So you can listen to the performance live via FM, digital, online, or the Triple R app. Anyway, you've been listening to this amazing performance from A.R. Wilson. Let's hear something now from Andy's old album, House of Dad, from 2016. This is worldtoilet.org.